Evening, everybody. Welcome to the Fitchburg Municipal Airport Commission meeting. It's November 20th, 6 p.m.
Mr. Chairman, may I say something, please?
Already?
Yes, please. I'd like to welcome you back as the chairman. We've missed you. It's a pleasure to have you back again, and I'd also like to thank Richie for standing in for the last 2 or 3 meetings that we've had, so thank you.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it. And Rich, I noticed you've been getting out of here at like 6:30 and 6:41 and 6:29.
Yeah, these express meetings have worked out.
Thinking maybe it's me, but I don't know yet. Keep up the good work. We'll see tonight, I suppose.
There is precedent.
Well, thank you, Peter, and it's good to be back. All right, members in attendance this evening, to my far left, Eric Takal. To my immediate left, Paul Hathaway. And to my far right, Rich Liberatore. And myself, the chairman, Clayton Raymond. Also here is Airport Manager Peter Kettle. And members in attendance are Gale Associates Jackie Marks, she's here via Zoom, and we also have Daniel Walton from the Fitchburg Pilots Association. Welcome, Daniel. All right, previous month's minutes approval. I won't be voting on that, but I'm looking for a approval for Rich's October minutes.
Make a motion to approve the October minutes as distributed by Rich Liberatore.
Second. And a vote.
Aye.
Aye.
3-0. Thank you. Action items from previous month's minutes, correspondence to the commission. I have a yes. I'm assuming that came from Peter.
Yes, action items from the previous month's minutes will be covered in this month's meeting agenda. And we have a letter for the commission that I didn't open because it's for the commission. So,
Oh, looks official. Or junk mail. So a letter from the United States Census Bureau.
You have been selected as a prize winner.
No, I've never seen this last year. Construction Progress Reporting Survey, State and Local Governments. City of Fitchburg Commission, Attention Project Manager. All right. We'll take a look at it and send it away.
thank you.
Thanks, Peter. Oh, there's a little blurb here, too. Okay. Thanks. Check. Action item 2, Gale review of ongoing work. We have Jackie Marks. Go ahead, Jackie, and hopefully we can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me all right?
I can.
Yes.
You can, okay, good. So I would like to just thank Peter. I believe he provided everyone with a copy of Gale's November update, so you should all have that in front of you. Thank you very much, Peter, for doing that today. Should be a pretty brief update today, but starting on page 1, project 1, the environmental assessment and wildlife hazard assessment. The draft wildlife hazard management plan was provided to FAA and Mass DOT for review and comment earlier this month. We received comments back from both agencies on November 15th and November 19th, respectively. So Gale has been working internally with Peter, and we reached out to the environmental subconsultant, New Earth Ecological, to get those revisions made. There really wasn't anything too significant. It should be a pretty quick turnaround on that. I reached out to Stacy Grove today, Peter, just to give you an update, and gave her a copy of our redlined version of that report, and just waiting for a response from her to, you know, set up a call and just try to button up those last few items with her. Once the wildlife hazard management plan is finalized, the EA and wildlife hazard study project can be closed out. So we've taken it this far, and it's been, you know, I feel like a very productive process for everybody, but just willing to take any questions or comments, concerns that anyone may have about the project.
I'm good, thank you.
Well, I guess you did your job, Jackie. There's no comment.
And of course, once the report is finalized, I'll distribute a copy, you know, to Peter to give to the commission as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Welcome. So moving on to page 2, project 2, the design and permitting for the main apron construction. So the engineering department has forwarded the preliminary geometry plan to FAA on November 15th, and we were given preliminary comments, and those are currently being addressed. So, you know, just working towards, you know, starting the design of that project. But everything is underway. I guess if there are any questions or concerns at this time, happy to bring them back to the team and make sure that they get addressed.
Okay.
That's a pretty quick turn by the FAA. That's great.
Any
So
comment?
hearing, oops, sorry about that.
No, I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, go right ahead, Jackie.
Sure. So project 3, the groove and seal, closeout documents were sent over to Mass DOT on October 18th. I don't know that they have provided a response, but there were, to my knowledge, not any, you know, revisions that we were informed of to date, but we'll, you know, continue to follow up with them as we do and just make sure that they have everything that they need.
Yep.
Any concerns with the groove seal project?
No, we're getting great comments on it.
It's a great runway.
Thank you.
Wonderful. That's wonderful to hear. Great. I will just keep it moving along then. Page 3 of 3, the design and installation of the wildlife fencing. The scoping meeting was held on October 10th, and a draft scope of services sent to FAA Mass DOT on the 18th. We're working towards incorporating Mass DOT and FAA's comments into a final scope of work. Once that is complete, we'll distribute that final scope to all parties, and then from there, the commission will need to solicit an independent fee estimate for the services, so we can work with, you know, Peter and the commission offline, you know, pretty standard, just soliciting that third party to, you know, review the contract items and provide a quote. So that's really the only action that I have that's required of the commission eventually once that scope is final.
I have a comment, Jackie, please.
Sure.
Your figure 1 of the wildlife fencing alternatives, I've passed a copy of that out to all the commissioners. It's got a 3 on the top of it if you have a look at the documents I've given you all. And you'll see that there are 2 distinct different lines. One that comes down with a straight line and then back up to the main line that runs parallel to the runway. That was the choice that we had, and basically the FAA wanted to do the straight line, which I was happy with, but one of the suggestions to the FAA was that in order to put that line straight across there and make it less expensive for the project, I need a fence, an actual gate in that line to enable us to get through, to cut the terrain down, to keep the wildlife at hand. And they agreed to that as well, so there will be an additional a gate put in that area, under lock and key, obviously.
So this is the area where the old 02 approach threshold was
Exactly.
south.
Yes.
That doesn't preclude any use of that area for any revenue-generating activities or?
Because of the fence,
Yeah.
because of the actual gate. So, but we have to cut it, so they've agreed to do it because of the gate.
So, Peter, the parallel line going with the runway, that's the one that's going to be the proposed?
Yes.
Okay.
So, Paul, the answer to your question is, I'm thinking no. We have a gate in the straight line fence. So if we were to do something with that land, it is accessible. You got to cross the runway to get there, but.
Well, no, you don't. You actually go down the bottom left-hand side of the 14 runway and around the bottom.
Okay.
So you don't cross the runway.
Okay.
You can do that.
And that's easily controllable. We can just put a lineman down at the end if somebody wants to go around.
Yeah.
And he'll be on a transceiver, and so will the people. If we ever have any people working in that area, we'll insist that they have transceivers.
Right.
So
Is that area currently used for any other,
nothing.
okay.
Nothing.
Other than remote control or?
No, nothing. Nothing. Nothing.
There was the proposed solar project, but that wasn't, was that there? Was that?
It was.
Yeah, that was the area.
Okay.
And the other thing is, because the airport itself isn't totally enclosed, there's an entrance to the right-hand side because the river's there.
Yep.
And we can't put a fence in that area. But there's riprap there, and which is cobblestones. It's difficult for any animal to climb up that side. The side of any entrance would be on the 1-4 end. Explaining to the FAA, and Gale agreed that, we've now got a depredation permit. So anything that comes through, we can cull. And that will give us, the cleanliness that we need, because there's quite a few deer around, as you must probably seen, Paul.
Yep.
Currently. So, but yeah, that was the proposal. Fence, the parallel line with the gate in there, which is good.
Will there be a gate at this far end too, the old?
No, that's not. Yeah, there will be,
Yeah,
but
that's
that line there is not there at the moment.
Oh, it's not?
No, this is the non-aviation land.
Yeah.
But the actual area itself will go up and it'll just follow the exact same fence that we've got around the airport.
All right, so we don't have to separate the non-aviation?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Not at the moment.
Just playing devil's advocate from a pilot's perspective, in the case of the dreaded engine failure after takeoff from 3-2, and you're trying to turn back to the airport, and let's say you can't turn back a teardrop to get you back to 1-4, you probably, common sense would dictate, you'd leave the gear up and you'd slide where the old 2-0 used to be and take your chances, but at least you're going to be on a flat, controlled surface next to emergency services. I wonder to what extent the straight line fence limits how much room you'd have to do that if you manage your speed poorly. I mean, the advantage of big open spaces, and that's why all airports before there were even runways were just big open spaces. It gave you as a pilot more options.
That's true, but the fence itself is 10 feet away, and if you're coming in at a 20 degrees glide angle, you're going to miss the fence, Paul. If you're going to hit that area, if you're coming in from the west, which is, straight over where the river is now, down to 2-0.
Yeah, I'm talking about somebody that's made a right-hand turn. They're going over, the truck repair area there. They're going to make an approach to 2-0.
Right.
And then they've misjudged. They're going to go through that fence and end up in the overrun to the south by BJ's and the Orange.
Well, at least the fence is going to stop them going into the river.
Sure is.
So, So,
With the arresting fence.
right.
But that area up here, Paul? This up here, is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the fact that if you came off, and
Yep.
so you got an engine failure right here, right? You're slow, low, out of options,
Yep, you
out
come
of
back and
ideas.
try
You're
to-
going to make a right turn. You're not going to have enough energy to get back to 1.4.
Right.
So the common sense dictates you're not going to have an excessive bank angle. You want to limit load factor, and you'd make basically what amounts to a 120-degree turn
right.
to get back to what is flat, no obstacles, no people, no cars.
Well, that's what I was thinking, but is this area up here that you'd also have to traverse then where we might be building non-aviation,
This is true, and so
which would be even higher than 10 feet?
this is true. So, long-term,
Yeah, it's not a,
it's the Faustian bargain, right? You develop the airport, but in the event of an emergency, there isn't that big flat open space to get back to. But such is life.
If I could just explain one thing, there was a 152 took off there about 2.5, 3 years ago, and his pitot tube wasn't switched on, and it was iced up, and the carb got iced up, and he lost all power, and he was up at about 400 feet above the runway, and he could not turn. He went straight down into the area where the trucks are. He just could not turn and get back again. So, in order to turn and make a right turn to get back to that area, a glider might make it, but I won't in my 172, I know that, and you certainly won't in yours.
I can't actually do 500 AGL returns to the same runway. You do it all the time at Simcom. Because it
Really?
has so much inertia. And it's
That amazes me.
It's so much energy. So you're coming off the runway, I'm doing 130, 140, 150,
Right.
160 over the threshold. And man, I lose it. If I pull that prop back and I get into a 45-degree turn to the right, I can make it back to the hard surface every time.
Really?
Yep.
Well, that surprises
Even
me.
IMC.
With what runway length?
It doesn't, sometimes you end up on the taxiway, but you're on the airport.
Okay, all right, yeah, okay, all right. I was thinking of getting back to the runway, that's
Simcom,
all.
They start you at 1,000 and they start working down. 500 is really pushing it, but it can be done if you've got enough energy.
Yeah.
If you can climb it out of, VY, right, you are too close to the airport and in a poor energy state. We're getting digressing here, but if you're doing a kind of cruise climb, you get a lot of energy, a lot of airspeed. If you start that turn quickly, now you've given yourself a buffer to do the teardrop.
Right.
That's what they
Yeah, yeah, okay. I'll just make it a little bit easier for you all to decide. The area that comes down, right, look, it's like a triangle that's been cut off, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? If we wanted that schematic, we would have to pay for the fence to go there. The FAA will pay for the straight line fencing. And we don't have the money to put that fence in.
Well, there's your answer.
So that's why I just wanted to make it easier for you.
Right.
So
but that would just be a little longer. So what's the actual difference in the length there?
I don't have those figures at hand. But the FAA will only pay for the straight line. So,
Well, I think it's written here, but
It
it's
does say something, yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
see it.
a couple hundred feet, 300 feet maybe.
Yeah, it's about 400 feet extra.
Is it? Yeah.
And what's the cost per foot? Or linear? No.
Well, the whole thing's $1.9 million, I believe, Jackie. About 1.7, 1.9 million for the fence.
Unfortunately, Peter, I'm not certain which plan exactly you're looking at. I wasn't provided that, so I don't have that in front of me. I'm assuming that we're looking at the preferred alternative from the environmental assessment and talking about rather than the jog going
Exactly.
down.
Yeah. Yes.
Doing the straight line option. Okay.
Yes.
I would have to do a calculation on that cost. I can't unfortunately pull those numbers, off the top of my head. I can, I can look into it if that's the commission's wish.
I'm just curious if it would be a break the bank thing or if it's,
What bank?
well,
What bank? There's no money,
well, we pay some, don't we, as a FAA?
No, they will not pay for any of it. That's what they're saying. They'll either give us the straight line one, and if we want to go from the other direction, then we have to pay for that full length going around.
So what's the advantage to us to have the, to go the perimeter of the
There isn't any advantage.
There is no advantage.
No,
It's mostly vegetation, on either side of where 02 used to be.
that's right.
Yeah,
So I was thinking about the aesthetics of it, but if you actually look at where it is, it's sort of right at the buffer of the vegetation, not the vegetarian, the vegetation. So aesthetically, it's not even going to look that bad.
No.
Provided the gate's wide enough,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
So do we permit grass operations to the left of 32, Peter?
To the left of 3-2? What, you mean for...
Or is it possible anymore now that the runway's a little bit higher? Remember people used to land in the grass there?
Oh, yeah, no. None at all. We don't have an approved grass runway. They can land at risk. If they're PIC and they want to land, they can land. And sometimes they come in and say, we're landing on 3-2 grass strip, and I'll immediately, or one of the guys will get on and say, that is not an approved landing, but you're a PIC, you do what you want. We can't tell them not to land.
Of course.
But it's not an approved FAA landing strip.
Yes, I think I've heard that on the 127, dropping a banner on the grass. And
Yeah, that's okay.
They do that in a different location, actually,
Oh, okay.
where the X is north of taxiway Alpha, where, 0220 used to be, just
Yep.
to the left of that little red box there, where that's around the AWAS and all that stuff. That's sort of where they do the banner pickup.
Okay,
That, of
okay.
course, will have to be moved once that area is developed. That's their preferred zone. They kind of come in where 20 used to be. They put the flags up sort of 1,000 feet down the runway, and then they pick them up.
okay, okay.
And they also use the old 20 as well.
Yeah.
so after spending all this money on this fence, it still doesn't keep the wildlife from coming on the left, or 3-2 end, or the 1-4 end.
No, but the depredation permit does. We've never had one on the airport. Now we've got it.
Yeah.
So,
Has the experience of other airports been that wildlife, if you have an incomplete fence, does wildlife somehow get trapped in here? Or funneled in, or is it largely, do we know from the hazard assessment where the wildlife is actually coming from?
it comes from mainly along the riverbank down here that we're blocking off.
Okay, that's important.
So having the straight fence would be better because it gives the deer a little more area to live in, I suppose.
That's my question. So as
Yeah.
long as we're achieving the objective, it's not like
Yeah.
it's not like a sort of a deer diode where it kind of traps them and they get in
Right.
and can't get out.
A lobster trap.
That was a terrible analogy.
I don't think we've taken electronics.
I think I mixed my metaphors there.
Yeah. All right, so
Cool.
straight fence?
Yes, sir.
Straight fence it is.
Okay.
Jackie, you don't need us this evening to motion.
No, I don't need a vote this evening.
Yeah. Okay,
Great work.
all right. It's all you, Jackie. Was that the,
That was really all that I had. I know I confirmed with you, Rich, that you had signed that closeout report for the MedStar legal case. So
Yep.
that should be with Andrew Lanza now at this point, and I'll confirm with him tomorrow that he does, in fact, have a copy of that in his inbox.
yeah, I'll be in front of my computer tomorrow, probably after 11 or noon.
Okay. Okay, that sounds great. Thank you. Any other questions, concerns, comments, anything I can bring back to the office?
No, looks good.
Great.
No, we're good. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thanks.
New business. We have items A, B, and C, and we're actually going to introduce item D this evening. It's with the FPA Santa, we'll call it a Santa drop, but people think we're actually dropping Santa. So just so you know that I'm going to allow this item D this evening. So we'll start with item A, FPA land lease agreement first. So
Okay, if you look at number 4 on the sheets that I passed out, you'll see the latest document from Daniel. But if I could give a preamble, please. As you know, 4 years ago, when I was tasked with the job to try and get the airport in line, one of the first things that I did was do an analysis on the total square footage area that people were renting and what they were paying. And basically the main one that stuck out far more than anybody else was FACT, because they came into line with what the FAA required in terms of area of square foot that they were using on the airport, not just the hangars that they were leasing. So basically, they have 212,000 square feet of area that they pay by the square foot. There's only 75,000 square feet of hangars on that 212,000 square feet. So it's what they're using that constitutes what the FAA is requesting. So any new agreement that came along, such as the life flight agreement, they are paying for every single square foot that you see on the documents that I've actually attached there for you. So the first one was the hangars at 75,000 square feet, the total 212,000 square feet if you turn over, Rich. And then the next one is life flight. And you can see the hangar is 4,000 square feet, but they're actually paying for 9,714 square feet because that's what they're using. They use the space that's totally within that arc because that's where the life flight hangar is. And we've actually lined that with the appropriate lines that they can get out, but nobody can get in on the actual taxiway. They're paying for the areas that they park their vehicles and also the areas around that piece of property that they have. So I was looking at the Fitchburg Pilots Association, and Daniel and I had a discussion. He came into the office. It was very cordial. And I'd actually given him, if you look at this, there's Atlantic Coast Division at the top of the piece of paper. That is just a piece of paper that I had. Nothing to do with the Fitchburg Pilots Association. So the current hangar is 5,000 square feet, I believe.
I think it's 5,400.
Oh, sorry, 5,400, I beg your pardon, yes. 54, yeah, 54, and then 10% for anywhere else that makes up paths and things like this. So if you add that up, it comes to 5,940 square feet, which they are paying for. However, there are certain areas that you can see, A, B, C, and D, on there that they're not paying for. Do they park their cars in B? Yes, they do. Do they park their gas bottles in C? Yes, they do, but they've now been moved. If we look at the back of the hangar, there's an area of about, 80 minus 12, 70 times 11, about 700 square feet that they actually put a garden on, that they are using. And also the entrance from the parking area, there's a path going in there, 3'6" wide by 34 foot long, which they're not paying for. So I put this all down and I said, look, to try and bring you into line with what the airport is working with now, with the FACT plus the life flight hangar, this is what I propose you should be paying. And Daniel quite rightly said, I need to talk to the
Board of Directors.
The Board of Directors, thank you. And he did so, and basically they came back saying, which is what I expected they would say, but I was surprised, we're happy with our current lease. Now, this piece of property here is totally different to any other piece of property that we have on the airport, because this is a non-generating, non-profit hangar. You guys can decide to do what you want to do. I'm just the airport manager. I will do what you request me to do. But I honestly believe that certain areas they should be paying for in addition to what they're currently paying for. So that's my case towards the Commission. So if Daniel wants to comment on what I've had to say, then...
So Daniel Walton, Holden, Massachusetts.
Daniel, sorry, yeah.
Fitchburg Pilots Association. Get that over. So we looked, and Peter and I talked about those 5 pockets of land, although pocket may not be the right term that has meaning in real estate. We are happy with our lease. We don't see a need to change it, but we recognise that the current leases that have been offered since ours was signed maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
The prevailing leases are different now than they were back then. On the specific sections, what's identified as section, I think you have the picture in front of you, don't you?
Yeah, they do.
The area that's identified to the left of the hangar, which is E for Echo, we had some propane stored there in a little enclosure, and we certainly had one, or really two pilots had a habit of just parking the car there when they, went flying. I don't know that we care necessarily if someone leaves it there a few hours, but this was often left for a week or two or longer periods of time. I've spoken to the members, the board of directors, and I've spoken to the members and instructed them to stop parking there. This is not our land to park on. And we've removed the propane, and the propane's off-site now. It's not in the hangar. Our lease precludes storing things like propane in the hangar. Area B, to the top left here in the diagram, similarly, we've told people don't park there. I've made that clear to the board of directors and, again, the members. Don't park there. It's not our land for you to park on. One or two people have continued to park there occasionally. I think it's less prevalent than it used to be, but it hasn't stopped. We don't view that as our land. That's no different than someone parking on the grass 50 feet away from the hangar. Maybe we should put up, don't park on the grass signs and then kick people's butt if they park there. But we don't feel that we should have to pay for it. There is something in the lease that does give us I think it's an 8-foot by 8-foot with stockade fence option in that area if we wish to put up, a porta potty or something. Peter's exactly correct on section C, Charlie. We have put a couple of little garden things and a sign there. We think it makes the airport look a bit better. It's not particularly usable land otherwise, but we absolutely have put some stuff there. And section D, which is the walkway, that's shown on the lease, but it's not included in the square footage in the lease calculation. We do have the right for entry exits, the airport can't block them, et cetera, the lease provides for that. So we don't really think the D should be paid for. We're not quite sure for the reason why we should pay for Section A. Again, recognizing that the airport has changed its standard lease. Twin City, Nagel, people like that frequently park planes outside their hangar. It's part of who they are and their function as an FBO. We don't typically park planes there for more than a few minutes here and there, or an hour here and there, but generally there are not planes parked in that area. We're certainly willing to continue a conversation about how we can proceed with this. We have cleared off, like I said, Section E there. The board of directors said we'll happily pull up the trees and remove, the stuff on Section C. We think it makes the airport look a little prettier, but we recognise we're using space. From the advice we were given, none of these constitute a violation of the lease. Using land that is not in the lease or using land abutting something in a lease is not actually a violation of the lease. It's merely using some land that's not yours. We, like Peter had identified, we are different. The requirement in the FAA is that all the like users of an airport have to be treated equally. We're not Nagel. We are a charity. We're not similar to the other people at the airport. It's not necessarily a violation of anything in the FAA, but we're happy to try and continue a conversation after the fact, or after this meeting. I don't know whether we can resolve it right here, right now. One thought that was thrown out was if the concern is getting the lease better aligned to the new leases, would you be willing to change the square footage such that it meets the requirement of your lease? And we can negotiate whatever these pockets are and the sizes, but to reduce our square footage rate such that the payment, the the cost to the airport, the cost or the revenue to the airport, cost to FPA remains the same. So it becomes a non-material transaction. But like I said, we're quite willing to have a conversation, to see what options are available here. FPA, while we have had, we're reluctant to do anything. The pathological case was if we went from that near 6,000 to 8,500 as proposed. Other terms in the lease that have changed from 2014 through to now is the rate for the land has gone from like 30 cents to 50 cents, approximate numbers. We're very lucky that the Commission agreed a 2.2% cap on increase year on year, where I think now it's CPIR. And while CPIR varies a lot, it's even gone down. It certainly on average exceeds 2.2%.
CPIU.
Oh, CPIU, sorry. If we were to make some assumptions and project forward over the remaining 50 years of the lease, if we were to check all these boxes off, this cumulatively would be, I think, near $100,000, or it's somewhere in the vicinity of $100,000. I don't actually have the numbers, but I have a spreadsheet somewhere with it in. But it's a significant amount of money. While FPA did have a recent windfall, our goal is to actually put a lot of that money into our main purpose, education, scholarships, and things like that. But if our lease was to go up substantially, and again, in the next few years, it probably wouldn't make a difference, but cumulatively over time, we really worry that FPA would continue to be at least, marginally profitable or, at least breaking even with the goal of balancing the revenue that we get into using it for scholarships and things like that. So that's kind of our take, FPA's take on it, but happy to discuss it further at a later time.
Thank you, Daniel. This was just put in front of us, all of us at this moment, but the bigger picture to me is if you have a lease and you have a lease of 5,940 square feet, that's the land that you can use. Mm-hmm. All right? And I think that's what it boils down to. If you're using space beyond the 5,940 square feet, you should have the expectation that you're going to be charged for it.
Yep.
Rewriting the lease is very difficult to do.
Yeah.
But forcing you to use the land in which you pay for is the only leg we can stand on right now.
Yeah.
And it does seem to be a reoccurring theme throughout the airport as people, I guess you could say, encroach onto the public space and use it regularly. I don't have your lease in front of us. I have to assume the 5,940 square feet is what your lease states.
It does.
Yeah.
Where that additional 540 square feet is not clear. Do you know where that square footage is?
I don't think it's clearly defined in the lease. It's assumed I think it works out to being, a foot around the entire perimeter or something like that. It's a small margin around the outside of the building.
It basically says in the lease something like a 10% be allowed.
Yep. Exactly.
Which is the 5,940.
Exactly.
Yep. 10%. So.
We just don't know really where it is.
No.
Well, it's just not defined.
No.
I mean, could it be
we don't.
off in this corner, that corner, a little margin around? Sure.
It could be where your propane tanks are. We don't.
It could
were.
Right now, they're in Lunenburg.
I think the intent is for there to be a buffer so you have access to the exterior of the building for repairs.
Put a ladder up.
Right. And I'm sure the building permits and things wouldn't allow a building to abut us and things like that, but at least there would be something we could say, whoa, we have this undefined 10%.
Yeah.
So we're comparing apples to apples. What is the situation with Twin City and Nagel with regards to the buffer areas around their businesses? Do their leases wholly reflect their use of ramp and
100%.
100%?
They pay almost $40,000 a year for that privilege.
Yeah, FBOs are a little different. You know, they have a lot of space that they lease for repairing the aircraft, running the aircraft, pushing the aircraft out, tying them down.
Sure, I know, but I'm just historically, as Peter's been trying to standardize these things, some, as we will be discussing later, have not yet been accomplished. I just wondered what the status of those two was.
And well, the big difference between the three is that they're airport properties, and this is a private property, and that's the big difference.
Yeah.
So, you know, they are businesses. They charge a lot, you know, they do excellent jobs, and they pay accordingly for, I guess, an industrial property, I suppose. So,
I mean, my thoughts on this are, as far as, you know, trying to split the difference here, as far as A is concerned, as a regular visitor to the airport, I don't see FPA parking aircraft out there with any kind of regularity. That's just a transient
Right. And
push
certainly
in, pull out type thing.
Right, and if guests were flying to meet us at FPA, they would be encouraged to just park in the normal tie-down areas.
Of course.
And things
Of
like
course.
that.
And I think you've taken steps to educate everybody about B, don't use B. So that's sort of,
I have. It doesn't mean
Yes.
everyone's in complete compliance, but it's better, but it's not as good as it
right.
should be.
Yeah, but there's also, for instance, when I fly out of, you know, the FACT properties, I park a car, you know, outside the gate there, but that kind of no man's land by the access road.
Yeah.
You know, who pays for that? Who controls that? Technically, I'm using that space, right? I would say in terms of C, I think the fact that you're a nonprofit and there's been some betterment of the airport recently through the little garden and the signage. You know, it's my personal opinion, if that's unused space, some credit is due for the effort to make the airport look nicer. And
It's actively managed. I'm sure you see in the course of the year, it gets watered and trimmed
Yeah.
and everything. It's not a wild area.
And as Daniel says, if the FAA stipulation is that like businesses need to pay equivalent, then as you point out, you're a charity. It's not like
nonprofit.
other businesses.
The FAA actually doesn't require it, but they sort of recommend it. And, you know, they leave it to you to sort of defend the situation if it isn't. But they don't require that they are the same.
Yeah, I mean, even when you have events, there's parking farther around this where people are directed to park and so on. But
Right, and
that's-
Peter's been very good about saying that when we do host events at the airport and things, and people are parking everywhere, you know, no one really cares about that. That's for the betterment of the airport.
Exactly, and that's why I think that's not problematic at all.
Yeah.
Because of what that brings to the airport in terms of visitors, potential other business, and so on.
Right.
So D seems to be the one that is the standout, right? Although it's an extremely short, narrow path.
I think Peter had
from
estimated
parking.
at 224 square feet.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah.
You know, it looks a lot bigger on this diagram than it is in the real world. It's
of course, I'm a salesman.
outstanding. It was 10 foot wide.
Right, and if that access weren't there, what's the alternative?
We could just go back to being grass. That we
People will walk across a muddy path.
Yeah. They'll go to the back door, basically, which is on the
in urban
left-hand
planning, they
side.
call it a path of convenience.
Right.
And it's
A
where
worn
people
path would
walk
exist.
diagonally across a path instead of doing a 90-degree, you know.
Right.
Yeah, I think that the fact that you're so articulate about this, that it's a nonprofit, you are willing to come to the table and discuss it. I just have to think that there has to be some creative way to, I mean, recognizing Peter's correct that we've got to satisfy the standardization of leases, but the fact that you've made some effort to kind of remediate the use of space that you shouldn't be using, and the fact that you've bettered a space that is largely no man's land, I think requires some consideration.
Peter, does FPA pay less per square foot than the average on the airport because they are a nonprofit,
Yeah, because there's only a 2.2% increase per year.
as opposed
Well,
to,
the first year I was there, I increased everybody's rent by 10% because they hadn't paid for X amount of years.
yeah,
So, but just looking at what you've all said, if I may, if we just disregard B because you've already taken steps to say don't park there, okay? Let's take it out of the equation.
Yeah.
And let's say, like Paul said, Commissioner Hathaway said, yeah, it looks nice, really don't want to pull the trees up. Why would we do that to spite our face? Okay, so B and C have gone. But A, the actual building is not against the ramp, and A was put in there to get the planes from the building to the ramp.
I didn't know that was another.
Okay, and D, I would push as the airport manager to discuss A and D.
That's an important distinction that I didn't realize that A is
It's back.
necessary.
It's off the ramp.
I think I wasn't there at the time, but I believe FPA paid for that. But please fact check me.
Yeah, they most probably did.
Okay, yeah.
And that even more is for me to say you paid for it. you use it.
Yeah.
Let's get the rent for it. So
D is the entranceway that they're using,
that's the little sidewalk.
and that faces the terminal and the
does.
parking lot.
Correct.
So that's kind of dead space. I mean, we're not putting a structure in that area from the fence, edge of the parking lot, to their doorway. A is their apron to the taxiway, so I can understand that. C, definitely we're not going to touch that. B, is that pavement or is that grass?
It's grass.
It's just grass.
That's grass too?
Very sandy grass. You can.
Okay, I'm trying to picture that.
And I think there's
In their parking, there's a fence in their parking right up to that. Okay.
sometimes, yeah.
So-
More often they're just parking right next
For
to
me, the only thing, the perimeter is fine. I don't see any kind of issues with it. And then A, I always thought A was part of the taxiway, but the more I'm learning is there is an apron to all of the hangars, and I thought that in the lease process, that was automatically put in. No. But it's not.
So if A was not, I
not.
agree with you, if A was not addressed in the lease, we should probably
Okay,
try to
as we
rectify the
did,
issue.
as we did for MedStar. That was
Absolutely.
already figured in, so.
But D for me qualifies exactly the same as what MedStar does with the paths running up the side. They've paved that, so they're paying for it.
Right.
D is little blocks. They look beautiful.
not MedStar,
They're
it's
dedicated.
Lifelight.
Lifelight. Okay. Thank you for the correction, sir.
But who pays for maintenance of that, like plowing in the winter, or shoveling?
They do.
That's all taken care of?
Oh, yeah,
There's no cost to the airport?
We clear it, right.
What do you mean?
For maintenance, like in the winter, for example, for that.
Who plows
Oh, no.
Section A?
No, we plow we most probably plow half of it,
Of D, the side?
of A.
A.
But D is totally,
Yeah, we take care of it.
you know.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying, yes.
So it's just A and D that, I'm concerned with. and-
He's a lot shorter than the diagram shows. Peter.
I mean, D may in fact be in their lease as permission to use.
It's unclear if you read the lease.
There's a gray area in your lease?
Unbelievable.
Truth.
Correct. It's shown in the drawings, but the square footage of it's not in the calculation of square footage.
It's not.
It's sort of implicit that it's a public parking lot, and what is it, 10, 15 feet, no more than that, or 20 feet away.
Right.
There's the entrance to an approved building on a leased piece of land.
Right. The lease, like I'm sure.
Is that required to be there for fire exit purposes or anything like that?
No, it talks about, like many leases, not just at the airport, that, where we have doors and things like that, the leaseor has to make sure that, there's free access. So we
But as
go in.
part of the permitting process, presumably the commission approved the door being on that side, adjacent to the
I
parking.
hope so. It predates me, but
Might want to not look at that. I think A is the primary issue. I do see Peter's point, but D will become a dirt path if it's ripped up.
it'll become a de facto path.
It's a path of convenience in the planning board world.
Yeah.
Oh,
But it's a nice path because it's got these nice blocks. It's got these nice blocks in there dedicated by such and such, dedicated by such and
I
such.
can do a sales pitch if you'd like to buy a brick. $100 for a small brick. And
One for
to fund our
One for the
sculpture
town and one for the
Yeah.
commission.
So another question, I was looking at the like satellite view of that, and the building, there's another little structure adjacent like kind of catty corner between A and D there. It looks like a green roofed shed or
Oh,
something.
that's been,
What is that?
oh, no, that belongs to the airport.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
I think what you might be referring to is where the dumpsters are for the airport.
Is that what it is? Okay, maybe.
If it's,
Oh, yeah, that's a long way away from there. That's on the actual parking area,
yeah.
the general parking.
The aerial picture may
Yeah,
show a
it's
small...
just like, you know, adjacent to the building, but between the building and the parking area.
You may approach the bench.
Right here, that green.
Yes. Oh, so that is a dumpster, the white thing, and there's some fence around it, and this is just an open space.
Oh, is that?
That's grass.
Oh, it is. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Looked like a roof or a structure, just the way the shading is. All right.
Is there any way to do an addendum to the lease that sort of phases in the additional payments, perhaps for D and A, not D and A, over some reasonable period of time, and then is subject to the CPIU?
So I think that, you know, to change the lease, is what mechanism do we want to use to change it if we're heading down that path? Because things like the CPI, the changing from 2.2% to the CPIU, you know, will cost us a lot of money over the remaining
Sure.
50 years of the lease.
Yeah.
I think it's 50,
I mean,
60 years originally.
honestly, if A is not addressed in the lease, that's really my only personal concern. I think D is de facto other than absent the fact that it has pavers, if there were not pavers there, it would be a public way.
I'd have to agree with Paul. You know, I think the commission needs to see what that lease looks like and compare what they're using and what they're paying for.
But I think A, as to Peter's point, A is if that's not recognized in the lease, that is valid.
Yeah.
B has been addressed, I believe, by Daniel.
Yep.
C, I think there's a betterment issue there, the fact that it's no man's land.
Yep.
I don't have any worries. D, it's going to be a mud path or a nice path with pavers. We get to choose as a commission.
Yep.
And A needs to be, Peter's absolutely right, that has to be examined. So I'd make a motion to continue the analysis of this, subject to reviewing the lease, whether it includes Area A as identified in the diagram provided by Peter, and then we can revisit that at the next commission meeting.
I'd second that. Do we have a vote?
I,
Aye.
All right.
Can I just say one comment?
Yes.
If we look at A, and I believe you're paying something like 24 cents per square foot at the
That
moment.
sounds about
I think
right.
it's something
I thought it
like
might
that.
be near 30, but
That's
it's much below.
That's an incremental cost to the Pilots Association of $13.80 a month.
Right. Understand.
So,
I mean, it's my personal opinion that all property at the airport is undervalued. If you really get down to brass.
oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, you go to try rent a U-Haul storage facility around here, put a car in alone.
Right.
It's more than some of these leases
Yeah.
we have.
It is.
So your efforts are recognized and completely valid. It's just they're also recognizing the fact that they're a nonprofit, so they're kind of in a different, I mean, you exist to promote aviation within the city of Fitchburg and the area in general. And I think there's recognition of the events you hold are probably the premier area aviation fest or promotion events for young people.
Thank you.
I mean, how many young Eagles have you flown total?
It's many, many hundred, and actually
Yes.
Peter's probably flown 100.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing to be
I think Stowe probably has a speed, but we do pretty well.
Yeah, and I would say that building is always well-maintained and looks appropriately bettered from an airport brand perspective. You know, the work that Nagel has done as well,
Yeah.
the work Peter's been able to do with the fuel farm and the terminal, and it's
Yeah,
all
the
in the
airport
right direction.
It's continuing to look better and better. I mean, the old hangars have been rejuvenated and everything.
Right.
One other, did you say the CPIU increase is not in their lease?
Correct.
No, not. Yes, it's not in their lease.
We have a 2.2% cap a year. and the CPIU is usually below that.
So what is
But
in
not
their
above it.
lease?
Above
Above
it.
it, sorry.
Above it.
I mean, I know that it's suggested by the FAA to come up with some kind of a standard throughout, which we've adopted the CPIU.
Right.
But you're saying your lease it disregards the CPIU, and it's a 2.2 per year period?
It's 2.2 cap, so it could be less.
If the CPIU is less, you adopt the CPIU, but then it's capped at 2.2.
Right. Yeah. And does the FAA documentation say anything about differentiating between for-profit and nonprofit?
Yes, it does.
And is there guidance?
It's our discretion,
Okay.
yeah. But there should be something written for annual increases, or some period of time.
Yeah, and it sounds like that is covered.
So you're saying if the CPIU is 1.5, your lease will go up 1.5%.
Right.
If the CPIU is 6.3, yours is going to go up 2.2%.
Exactly.
The second thing is definitely true. I don't remember if it references CPI at all. I think I'd have to look.
It doesn't say it.
Right.
Doesn't reference it.
So
It
I think it's
doesn't.
entirely at the airport's discretion, but it just
Yeah.
can't ever exceed 2.2%, or it's at the commission's discretion.
Okay.
So if the CPIU goes down, which it has occasionally, it's a rare event, you could still put us up 2.2%.
I would.
I think Paul's motion would include us looking at their current lease, trying to include Section A as an addendum. And we'll visit that at the next meeting.
And if appropriate, obviously, we're available to talk,
Yep,
between now and then if you have
Yep.
questions, and
Saturday morning, coffee and donuts.
with coffee and donuts.
Yep.
But the price of the coffee and donuts might go up if
Yeah,
it might have to come up from free.
maybe I'll bring my own coffee.
Have to get something
Okay.
out of the vending.
No outside food or drink.
All right, we're good.
Okay.
Let's move.
Okay.
Item B, Michael R. May, gift.
Can I just propose that we do B and C, and then Dan can get out of here, because we may as well, sorry, C and D, because they're both FPA?
I was going to stay for the whole meeting anyway, so.
Oh, okay, all right, sorry.
I'm
Okay,
happy whichever order.
just a proposal. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. We can, if it's okay with the commission, we can take that out of order.
Yeah, sure.
We're okay?
Let's do it.
All right, so we're going to do C first, CPA new sign request.
Yeah. So it's for a 4-foot by 6-foot sign on the northwest corner of the hangar. We've sent some pictures. I know.
5A in your document.
Oh, thank you.
Gentlemen.
And we're working with Wes Arthur in Fitchburg, who's done tons of work all over the place. And it's 4-foot by 6-foot unlit. You see the picture?
Photoshopped.
Yes.
That is a fantastic.
Thank you, Wes Arthur.
No expense spared.
Can I comment? Mr. Chair?
Yes, go ahead, Peter.
One of the FPA board of directors came to see me
Yeah.
and discussed this, and I said, it looks great, I'm fully for it, but I believe there is a cost to actually have it installed, and that is a permit from the city. And it went backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, and then the director of the building authority, the planning board, Felix Zer, yeah, he actually came back saying, yes, no problem with the sign going up, but there's a permit required. And I believe Daniel's
Yeah, we've actually
accepted
started
that.
filling
So
the permit. But there was 21 emails in that, correct?
there's what, sorry?
There was 21 emails in that.
Oh, yeah, there was a lot.
I saw some of them.
Yeah, there was a lot. So basically, all it needs is the commission to say, yes, you've got approval to put the sign up. So you need a vote.
Make a motion to approve the Fitchburg Pilots Association building sign, subject to the permitting process.
A second?
Vote?
Aye.
Thank you.
It's not going to be neon and glow at night or anything.
I actually asked the
now you-
FAA if I could do something like egregious and stupid and make it look like a taxiway sign. They're like, we don't actually care, which bewilders me. But
Yeah, the signage commission stuff is really esoteric.
yeah, but the FAA was wise enough to say, go ask the sponsor, which is where I am.
Daniel, what's there now on the building? Anything?
Nothing.
Oh, there's, okay.
Yeah. So when people have flown in or where they're accessing our hangar from the Apron side, we give them directions. It's not that hard to find, frankly. But we figured if we just put a sign up on the side,
No.
people from the taxiway, runway, it's clear where we are.
Very useful.
So 21 emails and a permit later, before the work begins.
I get it.
Okay, so you have your permission to move forward, and you need to get that permit.
Thank you, Commission.
Item D is, as I alluded to earlier in the meeting, I'm going to allow this agenda item, as I don't believe it's going to have any controversy. But go ahead, Peter. Daniel.
Yeah. So what we'd like to do, similar to years previously, or not for the last few years, is hold a Santa Fest at the airport. This is where Santa will be brought to the airport by helicopter, dropped off, probably not the right word, but carefully placed down in front of the FPA hangar. Inside the hangar, we're going to do a Toys for Tots thing, let people take pictures with Santa in the hangar. If we do collect any money for that, it's going to go towards our scholarship fund. There's some discussion that we may not even collect money for this. It's just done for the community. We're not preparing food or anything like that, which is something that does require other permitting. First of all, I want to apologise for the lateness of this, and thank you to the Commission for letting this in, at the very last minute, because this is targeting December the 8th, which is right around the corner at this point. It's very close. And yeah, I'm sorry that this became a bit of a fire drill at the last possible moment. But we'd like to just, the estimates from previous Santa Fests is somewhere between 200, 250 people. The plan is to start the thing at about 1 p.m. Santa will be dropped off at about 1:30, the whole thing over by 4 o'clock.
Yep, this is the same thing they do every year. Go ahead.
We haven't done it for a few
Just one comment. My understanding is that if there's more than 50 people, a permit is required from the city to enable that amount of people to be in that one area.
There's a public assembly permit.
Right.
It's kind of dubious whether we need one or not, but I don't see a problem with us applying for one.
They normally apply for this permit
I believe so.
when they move
We have
forward
done
with
things
the
like Aerofare.
unless you're going to have 49 and a half people there. Or...
No, they're all going to be standing in Area B.
I think you said the one at the back is the no man's land. So not the no man's land, which I think was Charlie. This is very much the same thing. I think the last time we did it was right before COVID, and we just have kind of struggled to, get our ducks in a row. And,
Well, you need to apply for that permit
because
I'm sure the fire department wants to know that there's an assembly going on.
Yes.
Of greater than 50 people. So please do so.
Yep.
We do need a motion to approve this for the December the 8th this evening. So,
I'll make a motion
Do it.
to approve that pending permit approval.
and
Seconded.
second, Paul. And we need a vote to move forward.
Aye.
Motion.
Just no turkey drops, right?
Christmas is
we're not
coming.
dropping anything from any
Pittsburgh.
aircraft.
I have one question.
All
Is
right.
it the real Santa?
Of course it's real Santa.
Always.
How dare you say that?
Are you going to have the Neshoba Valley Concert Band play again?
We are.
Are you? All right.
Oh, yeah. Because I think it's the same band that's played in previous years.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like a subset of them anyway.
I used to be in that group.
you did?
I just never played at the event there.
Yeah, so that they've confirmed that they're going to come and.
How are you
choice.
publicizing this? Because it's.
Sorry.
How are you publicizing it, Daniel?
Well, so that's something else I should apologize for. We've already advertised it on our Facebook page. And in the email that I sent the Commission Chair and to Peter, I provided what we put on Facebook. Of course, we can take it down if you hadn't approved it. There was a discussion about whether to publicise it through Fitchburg Community Television, or
Yeah.
Fitchburg Access Television,
Yeah.
whatever it's called. We want to be a little low-key on promoting it. We do not want to be run over by the place.
I think if you've had that turnout before, just on Facebook, I'd go that path again.
Very much so. We're not sure if there's like a pent-up demand that might overwhelm us, or we're not sure whether people have just kind of lost this in their mind and forgotten about it, and 5 people turn up.
I think it's coming back. I think people miss these traditions.
Yeah.
I get the sense of some of the things that have gone on in where I live in Groton. Groton Fest this year had more people than you could ever imagine, like 3x the attendance
Is that right?
previous year. It was absolutely mobbed.
Is it a weather and all kinds of things combined?
Glorious weather, but I mean, and amazing. I was part of the planning board booth there, and something like 75% of the people there were from out of town.
Yeah.
And just wanted to go do something.
Yeah.
We actually were surprised with Aerofair this year that the numbers were down by about 30-40%. And we still had, I think, close to 600 people. But it
Was that because but didn't you publicize that the reservation system was more?
Oh, this is for Aerofair, so
Oh, and not for you.
not Young Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
So the numbers were quite down on that. We weren't quite sure why. The weather was okay. It was Father's Day, which was the same as it was last time.
Right.
And incidentally, we'll be asking soon about doing this again next year. And with a year's notice, we can potentially get some military helicopters in.
Oh, yeah.
Looking like what's the aquatic version of the Chinook? Chinook?
The Sea Night. No, the Sea. Wow.
So potentially a Black Hawk and whatever the marine version of the Chinook is. There's a lot of permitting and all sorts of things we have to do with the military, which takes up to a year.
Well, I would suggest coming to the commission sometime in October. Next year.
Daniel, does the Pilots Association have a website?
It does. It's fitchburgpilots.org, and it redirects you actually to our page at the Experimental Aircraft Association, because we're Chapter 1454 there. So what we tend to use more than anything is just our Facebook page.
Do you use that for advertising at all?
We sometimes put things on our website, but certainly the Facebook page pretty much always has something if we're doing something. We don't use Instagram, TikTok, or anything, because we're a bunch of old people.
Okay.
Does it work on your flip phone?
All right, Daniel, thank you.
Daniel.
Try banners.
Appreciate it.
Yes, exactly.
All right, we're going to go back to item B, Michael R. May gift. Peter's got it in his handout.
Wow, look at that.
What do you got going on, Peter?
I got a nice surprising letter that was sent on November the 4th from Michael R. May from Indianola in Iowa. And he said, "Dear Mr. Kettle, my father was a frequent passenger during the 1950s on Northeast Airlines when serving Fitchburg Airport with DC-3s. Good memories all. I have previously submitted photos about Northeast Airlines DC-3 service to Fitchburg Airport, which are on your website. I would be willing to send all my Northeast Airlines memorabilia for display at Fitchburg Airport if it would be preserved as a matter of general interest in the history of Fitchburg Airport. The memorabilia introduces an album of Northeast Airlines DC-3 history, photos of Page enclosed, as well as a professional wooden model of a Northeast Airlines DC-3, photos enclosed. I'm seeking neither compensation nor a tax credit, just a straight-up gift to Fitchburg Airport if the gift is welcome." He supplied his telephone number. I called him. What a delightful man to speak to. What a wonderful man.
Wow.
And as you can see, if you look at the second page, you've got that Northeast Airlines arrival and departures, and like a halfway down, you see Fitchburg Airport flying to New York.
That is the coolest
which is
picture.
Absolutely. So he's actually sent me that actual photograph. So I'm going to frame it.
We should. That's
Okay, but that is the model. I think I copied the... Yeah, that's the model.
Look at that beauty.
So the idea is, with your permission, to put a nice shelf in the appropriate space in the administration building with that model on top of it, with the book. You want to see the book he sent. It's unbelievable. So professionally put together with all the details of the airplane, the actual Haynes book on the DC-3, brand spanking new. It's beautiful. And just put that up there on the actual shelf, and then make a little plaque underneath, donated by Michael R. May on such and such a date to the airport.
What a wonderful idea.
Where
Okay.
was Northeast Airlines?
You don't know North? You never flew on Northeast? My goodness.
All these little carriers like Piedmont and
Was this out of
rolled
out of
up.
Logan?
It went to Logan, it went to New York, it went everywhere. But they came here. They flew from here to Orange, to Keene, to Nashua.
Oh, really?
DC-3, we know
Sorry.
the Dakota.
No, we drove, and I usually get car sick, so
Oh, cool.
that was my life.
Imagine getting a DC-3 from Fitchburg to New York City. That would be the bomb.
I flew from Bulawayo to Salisbury in southern Rhodesia in 1963 in a DC-3 by myself.
I'm not as old as all you guys.
Well, these aircraft had extended lives in other parts of the
They're still
world.
flying now, Paul.
I know.
No?
Peter, do we have any sort of display cases or anything currently?
No. Absolutely
Would
not.
we need to set something like that up to protect it?
There's always people in that building.
Yeah.
Always. Otherwise, you need a pass to get into it. So, you know, I mean, it's really nice stuff. A display case is going to cost a lot of money, unless somebody would like to donate one. But, you know, I just thought a nice shelf in there. At a, you know, you can see it, but you can't touch it.
Well, shelf for the models, certainly, but if it's a book that's meant to be looked through,
Well, yeah, we could actually put a notation on the plaque, book in the manager's office or something, you know, if somebody wants to view it.
they have to request it.
Yeah.
If you want some of those images archived, I could scan those at high resolution so we could put them on the website.
True.
All right.
So at your convenience, I would love, particularly the photo of the young lady on the telephone there. I mean, that is just an incredible image.
It is. It really is.
I'd love to see that, prominently displayed. I mean, the airport looks, the foyer looks fantastic now. You get a true sense of the history of the airport. But that would be a welcome addition. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
What a great guy.
Okay. It certainly was. And I received the actual documents yesterday and the plane, which I assembled today. I actually got that today.
So cool.
And I thanked him, and he came back saying,
I do see display cases pop up all the time that people just want to get rid of. I'll keep my eye open. It's just one of those things where people give them away because they can't sell them.
yeah, well, we have
If you wanted
room
to
for
buy a
it.
new one, it'd be very expensive.
Yeah, we have room for it.
Great.
Well, I think we should go out of our way to try to protect that. I mean, things can get broken.
Yeah, they can.
Things can get stolen.
Yes, they can.
And that's usually the problem with, even historical societies. They can't, you'd love to have some of your items in those, but protecting them is a different story.
Right.
And they're uninsured.
Yeah.
So if we're going to put it up on a shelf, it needs to be up out of the way. And a display case would be great.
I think to Peter's point about it being, it's an access control building.
Yeah,
And
helps.
helps.
Yeah.
Well, at least on a shelf, though, and
Very cool.
All right.
do you need a
Excellent.
motion for anything, or,
No, I just need to be told, so
Yeah.
I'll get that done.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's a Bluebird event.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to move right into old business. So RFP for non-aviation land lease, particularly for the restaurant. I had sent each and every commissioner a draft for the RFP along with a draft lease so they could review it and provide some comment tonight in an open meeting. So I'll start with my comments. My comments were the 50 cents per square foot in the RFP should be better labeled as as per annum, rather than have a potential proposer having to defer to the lease agreement for clarity. In other words, your average Joe running a restaurant is going to look at 50 cents per square foot and have no idea that it's per year because it's so darn cheap. So I'd like to see that changed. It just says 50 cents per square foot. He doesn't know if it's weekly, monthly, daily. I mean, it's just crazy.
Right.
There's words in there about ample parking. I don't know that there is ample parking. Even a small restaurant needs, 10 spaces for their employees, let alone the customers. So we need to be very careful when we say ample parking, because are we saying you have ample parking, and then when there's not enough parking, that we're going to provide ample parking?
Does the town have any zoning bylaw on the number of parking spaces per occupant of a business? I know Groton.
Likely they do.
And so it's like for every 100 customers, you need 3 parking spaces. There's some ratio, don't quote
Yeah.
me, but you have to comply with that, and a certain number have to be, disabled, accessible.
The word ample needs to be addressed.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Parking available.
I kind of blabbed on about no mention of alcohol license in the RFP. Is this a possibility? Too soon to determine. Seems to me this could make or break a decision for most restaurants. Maybe not for an Irish coffee for breakfast, but certainly for a restaurant that it's going to be maybe doing lunch or dinner. I don't know that we could possibly promise them an alcohol license, but it's just something that I thought of that might be their first question.
Well, they would have,
Can I get an alcohol license?
they would have to apply through the city for that, right?
That's right.
So it's out of our
It is.
jurisdiction.
I think the RFP could say subject to Liquor Control Board or Fitchburg Town license, municipality licensing,
Yeah.
liquor license will be approved, right?
Yeah, I don't think.
Provided you didn't fly in.
I guess we could say we're not against having the alcohol license on the airport, but we can't approve it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think the
Well, it's
diner.
not on the airport.
That's right.
It's on the outside of the airport.
Yeah.
It's not on the air side,
Yeah.
which you can do.
Yeah.
So
They may want to mention that because they may be thinking of it. I mean, and there's a lot of restaurants where the alcohol pays their bills.
I was saying the previous diner that was here didn't have
Nope, they were strictly breakfast.
breakfast, lunch, yeah.
And I mean, personally, I'm still open to that. If they want to just do breakfast, I'm okay with that. Last but not least, in all of the documents that I read, there was no mention of how much space is actually available for this person to erect a building and/or additional parking. So I think it should be spelled out the amount of space that could be available for this prospective restaurant. They need to know what they're getting into. And 50 cents a square foot times 10,000 square feet is far different than 80,000. So that's what I had. I sent that to Peter. I did not send that to any of you guys because I need to be in an open meeting. So I think those are great comments.
I think
Anyone
the only
else?
one I would have would be on the, making it more of a marketing centric. Try to get some sense of excitement. There is some good content in there about, transient aircraft traffic and the pent up demand for an airport restaurant. I know everybody wishes there was an airport restaurant. It's all you ever hear. When is the restaurant coming back? But perhaps, spinning more of a story about that there was a successful restaurant there before. However you want to define it, but And also, is there going to be an image, like a satellite image of the plan form?
There is.
There is in,
Yes.
in the actual RFP. So we're just looking at the body text,
Right.
not the actual package thing. So that I'm fine. I would agree with Commissioner Raymond's comments.
Do we have anybody interested in a restaurant?
Not yet,
No?
because it's not gone out. We've had 3 people that were inquiring before, prior to this, but when the general RFP went out for all of the non-aviation land, nobody came forward. So we had a team meeting, that there's 3 people here in this room that are part of that team, and we all agreed that we'd split the land from the non-aviation on the Crawford Street side and take the restaurant away from it and go with the restaurant alone. So over the last 3 or 4 months, we've been waiting for the agreement from the attorney. We've now got the attorney's agreement. We had the RFP. It was passed to Rich. He sent it out to all you guys, and with Rich's comments, within a week or so after him receiving it, I forwarded that straight to Mary Delaney, the head of the team, and also to the attorney that actually made or raised the agreement. So they know of all what Chair Raymond said.
Okay.
So all we need to do now, in all honesty, if you don't mind, I'd like to propose that I'll try and arrange a meeting with the team again, and with your guidance, Chair, we can actually take those motions that you've made and take them forward, or those proposals, and see what the teams say. We can get things moving, because as far as I'm concerned, this is taking way too long.
I would 100% agree.
You know, we should be getting on with it.
Eric, did you have any comments?
No, not that wasn't.
So I'd make a motion to accept Peter's proposal to, pending the inclusion, or if they've already been adopted, Commissioner Raymond's, Chairman Raymond's comments, move the RFP for the restaurant land use, get that through the greater team approval process and get that released.
Okay, let's leave that on the table for a minute.
Sure.
Rich, did you have any comments on the information that I had
No,
sent you?
no, that was perfect. I agreed with it
Okay.
all. No?
And Eric,
I didn't have any additional comments, no.
no additional comments?
No, I
And
had thought about
Paul's
the parking.
additional comment is really advertising kind of,
Yeah, as long as I was
Flair.
clear that there's more graphic imagery in there and just more of a marketing spin on it. But I was fine with the factual content pending, except I thought your comments were spot on, Rich.
okay, so you had a motion to move forward.
Yes, incorporating your comments for
Yeah.
Peter to get the greater team
Yeah,
to
and we-
finalize and release the RFP.
And we can get together with Mary Delaney, Mary Jo,
Yeah.
and
Nick
try to get
Erickson,
this thing
everybody.
forward.
Yeah,
Okay. And they can address my parking issue, hopefully,
absolutely.
if it hasn't already, Ben?
Well, Commissioner Erickson will address that one.
Okay,
So, and he's part of the team, so
yeah. Okay. Motion, second, Eric?
Second.
And a vote. I'm all forward with this.
Full steam ahead.
Yep.
thank you.
It's going to be exciting if we can get that done.
Yeah.
Item B, old business, VASI lights. I remember this from 3 months ago, I think, about selling the old lights.
This was all approved by the mayor. The lights were sold, they've been collected, and they are currently being installed in Brookline Airport in
Gotta do a little
New
push
Hampshire.
Over that place, check them out.
So, yeah.
Is that the ZI?
So that'll come off to the next
Is that the one, the ZI?
agenda.
Yeah, okay, very good.
It's on a hill.
Your Parker's Maple Barn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Item C, terrain tower lights. Yeah, there was some controversy about a light being out, and landowner saying, why is it out? Why is the pole still here? Do I need it here? What's going on? So
Good memory.
what happened?
I raised a 7460. It's with the FAA. Normally, these things can take 2 to 3 months. But it's with the FAA, and we're waiting a response. They'll either come back and say, yeah, take it down, or repair it. So,
With their money? Or our money?
Oh, no, it's our money.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll brace ourselves. We're going to leave that on the agenda.
We're waiting for the FAA.
Yes.
Yeah. Minimum standards, I had a conversation with Paul earlier, but the minimum standards has been worked on, commented on, and I think that we're ready to at least put a draft version of the minimum standards all in one color. So we can present it to the whole commission. Paul and I are going to work on that over the next 30 days and see how it goes.
It looks like you had made tremendous progress, though, because at least the version I was looking at was vastly simplified from the one that had so much markup. So that was, we're far closer.
Likely is, it's disorganized still.
Okay.
And if you could get the
On it.
pages in the glossary to match, and it would be
That's my
helpful
pay-
to me.
That's my pay grade.
It is, yeah. Good. It's over my head. Thank you, Paul. So we're going to leave that on the agenda as well. The Crawford Street safety update. Peter's got quite a bit of information from Nick Erickson, so go ahead.
I'll just read the letter that Nick replied to me on. He said, "Hi, Peter. We plan to have our contractor conduct this work ASAP. When we went to dig safe the site, we discovered buried gas and electricity in the shoulder of the road right where the guardrail needs to go. See attached photos. Yellow markings are gas, red are electric, and I've actually passed you those. Right now we're evaluating options. The road has recently been paved and is under an excavation moratorium, which further complicated the matter. However, the latest on that is that they've been up there and they've actually dug in those areas. And the amazing thing is that the electricity's here, the gas is here, and we can put ours right in the middle of the two. So it looks like it's going to go ahead as soon as possible, maybe within the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Awesome.
And it'll be, he said it'll definitely be done for winter.
That's great.
We started working on this like 3 or 4 years
I
ago.
know we did. I know we did.
This is exactly the spot where I towed a young lady out of the snowbank.
Yeah.
She had gone straight on page 7. She had gone straight and took some of the fence out.
Yeah. Okay, that's good news. That's very good news. So they have money appropriated for this.
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Chapter 90.
Okay.
Well done, Peter.
Rocking Horse Enterprises, Wings and Wheels, item F. Why is Wings and Wheels on this?
Yeah. Every May, every April, we have a Wings and Wheels. At the moment, the current situation is with Rocking Horse Enterprises is that we now have approval from the FAA and MassDOT to do a site plan. The site plan's being done at the moment by Gale Consultants, the consultant that we have for the airport. So they know all the ins and outs of getting through the FAA and MassDOT, which is good. And I spoke to Bob Montana, the owner of Rocking Horse Enterprises, and he said he wants to break ground in April. I said, well, I've got a bit of a problem with that because we have Wings and Wheels and that brings $4,000 to the airport. Can you make it May? May the 1st. So we're breaking ground May the 1st. Okay? So that's really good because then we still get the Wings and Wheels in maybe for the last time. And they've been with us a long time. So, because the 30 hangars are taking the space that they usually use.
There's no other place we could have that event.
No. Unless we open the gate into the area next to the... Sorry, just been facetious. So yeah, that's good news. We're going. We're moving.
That's great.
Okay. That is good news. Hopefully, we actually see some excavators on the property in May.
However, can I just read a letter, please?
Yes.
That I actually sent to Bob because nothing seemed to be happening. I said, "Good morning, Bob, just thinking out loud here. As you know, I'm a current tenant in one of the 57 Fitchburg Airport Condominium Trust FACT T hangars that FACT manages. All of the owners of these hangars pay a condo fee to enable the maintenance, including roof repairs, hot top maintenance, usually once a year for crack ceiling, etc., heating units plus the fire prevention system. The fee is paid 2 times per year to FACT. FACT then pay the ground rental fee to the city. Obviously, the larger 48-feet hangar owners pay more than the 42-feet hangar owners. Heating gas is also applied by the tenants to FACT that have heating within their hangars. The design of the new hangars have no fire prevention as the areas are smaller than required by the FAA, circa 7,000 feet. However, maintenance of the newly to be erected hangars will be far less than the current hangars and therefore cost less to the owners, but will still need to be sorted so that the city gets their rent paid by the new to be formed FACT2, I called it, instead of FACT.
Right.
This payment would also need to be paid on a monthly basis to the airport by FACT2. The larger hangars will pay more and the surface areas of the hot top ramps will need to be included in those charges going forwards. I'm sure you will have taken this into your calculations, including utility installation, to advise on what the hangar prices will be and in the $110 per square foot you quoted going forwards. Bob, I suggest a meeting is arranged as soon as possible and propose that it could be in the FPA pilot's hangar or Building 18, which is currently under the control of tenants, Rich Corley and Jake Woodford. The FPA is preferred because some of the people in the FPA will be buying these hangars. Thank you. And he came back to me saying, yes, he's going to arrange a meeting.
Great.
Okay?
They're going to bring the utilities for those from, is it Building 17, the old bullock hangar?
No,
That
can't.
area?
Can't.
Can't.
No, can't. It's got to come from Cobbler Drive.
Oh,
Just bring it in the back way and it's right there.
yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah?
It's a far easier proposition.
Yes, sir.
So, Peter, that letter is to
This letter that I've just read
give
you?
fair warning to Rocking Horse Enterprises about how you expect the rents to be paid and the amount of land to be
Absolutely.
paid for?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's great.
I think I put you on it, didn't I? Yes, I did. You've got it. You're on the letter.
Okay.
All right. I know you've had a couple of little things that you've been worried about, so you didn't get to it. I understand that.
Yeah, a little preoccupied, but I will get to it.
Do you, the Wings and Wheels folks, do we owe them the courtesy of letting them know this may be the last year at this venue?
I told him.
Oh, perfect. Way ahead of me.
Yeah.
You got plenty of time then.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The new hangars are going in between the old taxiway to 20 and old 20. So what about the old 20? Is that space that could be used for the,
No, they're going there.
No, that's where they're going.
on the old 20?
Yes.
Okay,
Straight over it.
That's right, I don't have the old picture from
Yeah.
the other meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where they're going.
I didn't put that in because I'd passed you them before, Paul. So,
Yeah, that's right. They're going in right here.
Yeah, so then.
And then this
Your
up
concern
here.
of that 10-foot fence is,
Up here, that's the retail,
Yeah,
commercial use, but they're going down here.
yeah, so there's no way somebody's going
No,
to
that's-
make an emergency.
that's the first 30.
Yeah.
And then once the first 30 have been done, there's going to be an additional 30. And then some box hangers.
Yep.
So,
Okay, item G, after-hours bathroom facility. It's been on there for a while, and I notice it's been deferred until I return. I don't know what makes me the bathroom guru, but
You're number one and the number two business.
You were in charge.
I'm sure I'm going to find out this evening. So, Peter, I know you had some strong feelings about this after-hours bathroom facility access, so please carry on.
You'd like me to tell you what I said to you? Okay.
Yes. In public.
Okay, that's fine. In the past, after nightly events, we would get back in the morning and the bathrooms would be disgusting. With, I'm just going to call it stuff, over the seats, on the walls, and this is why I'm a little bit apprehensive on going forwards with it.
So just so people know, does the city have a cleaning company come in and do these bathrooms, or is this on,
We clean them ourselves.
you do?
There's no budget for it.
Yeah. All right.
So in the absence of that, we'd explored, Daniel, I believe you had gotten quotes that were incredibly reasonable for an exterior porta potty.
Right.
That were unbelievably cheap, given our proximity to the actual vendor, which is on Crawford Street, right? Wasn't one of them on Crawford Street?
I think there was a few, but one.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was like around 110 a month or less, something like that.
It was inexpensive.
Right.
It was less than 100, actually.
Yeah. Wow. And that included a weekly servicing. So it was really cheap.
Yeah.
I think this is more of an issue when there's events, FPA events particularly, as I found out when I gave a talk at the FPA and was politely informed that there's the trees over there. It wasn't you. And also I think given the tempo of operations increases later into the day in the summertime, given daylight hours, there's more of a need there. So once the terminal closes, then there's more of a need, particularly in the area by the self-service fuel farm. And I think that would be of benefit to have an outside facility. Obviously, in the winter, that's not such an attractive proposition, but
And the rates for the porta potties go up in the winter as well, because they need slightly different treatment, but it's not substantial.
it would still be usable
Oh, yeah.
in the winter.
And there's also luxury ones you can get as well, but I think most of the luxury ones can't be used in the winter.
So I think we had left it, given that there were concerns about terminal access. And I don't believe that the burden of cleaning the terminal bathrooms should fall on the airport employees, particularly if there's been discourteous use. I think that's unfair and sort of out of their job description. But I would recommend that we explore co-sponsorship of some kind of porta potty for event use.
If I
And if
remember
we
right,
don't put it
there was an
in-
agreement to have a three-way split between the city, FACT, and FPA for one or two porta potties or something. I think that was memorialized in a previous meeting, maybe last year.
Yes,
right.
Early this year.
And I think probably don't need to necessarily execute it this winter unless there's big events planned. I mean, so what do you guys do for Santa Fest when you have all these kids that go?
That's during normal hours.
So they would go to the terminal.
They would use the terminal.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, if the three-way split thing was largely agreed upon, I'd recommend we pursue that. It alleviates the concerns about public access to the building. And people will then, they have some recourse, and I think it was a question of kind of, not just convenience, but human dignity in some cases. Like, you gotta go, so there's a bathroom there.
And we usually direct people to the nearby Dunkin' Donuts. And it's been an issue slightly when we've been bringing people in to talk, guests to present at Fitchburg Pilot's monthly meeting. It's one of the key things we give them up front. But we've had some that have said, "Oh, that's kind of a problem. I may not be able to present them," for whatever.
So in the interest of, maintaining the bucolic beauty of Fitchburg Airport, where do you think we would put those?
Exactly. I don't know if, our lease actually has a provision for an 8-foot by 8-foot with stockade fence by the, the B parking lot. So at least calls actually does have a call out for that.
Section D,
And that's certainly an option, but I think the right thing to do is figure out between all parties where's the right place for them. And
Because there's pump truck access,
exactly,
of course, so they need a hard service, particularly in the winter, that they can back up the...
yeah. And the issue, exactly, it's getting the truck there weekly for to service it. And the other part is, if we want to give access to people on the apron, well, there's your problem. The pump truck can't get in there, without working with the airport to get in and out. So there's a question about whether it should be outside or inside the fence.
I think airside access will be highly advantageous, given that if you're coming in for self-serve fuel, the first thing you're going to want to do is
Yeah.
use
I
the
agree.
facilities. So,
And I mean, there is dead space, or whatever, to the right of our hangar as you face it from the apron area. Doesn't need to be there; it can be somewhere else. But we need to make it look as nice as a porta potty can.
May I ask the dumbest question that you've been asked? Please?
Peter,
You
go
said
right ahead.
you just sold and you just actually sold a donation that you had. Why don't you use this money to build your own bathroom facility?
So we've deferred a decision actually on what to do with the money a couple of times now, because we wanted to answer a lot of questions. One thought is pay off the mortgage, be free of debt, and that has some advantage. The other one is, do we pivot all of it towards education and the things that are driving us, scholarships, things like that, something in the middle. It certainly could be an option either to, even to put an extension on our hangar. I mean, that obviously requires your permission, city, and lots of things as well, and put a bathroom in there. We don't particularly want to put a bathroom inside the hangar, though it is plumbed for that.
Well, you have 540 square feet that you don't know where.
I can't find it. So we've that money that we got, we've put in a CD, got the money back. We're like, I still don't know what to do. Put it back in another CD. That frees up in March, and we have certainly a duty to put some reasonable portion of this towards education and the primary purpose of FPA. But we really haven't figured it out yet.
Is there any opportunity of a grant to put a bathroom into a facility like that? Non-profit?
That's a very good question. I don't know if anyone's looked at that.
Maybe mass development, something like that.
Yeah.
Do you know why they didn't put a bathroom in to begin with? Was there an issue? Other than money?
I think so. I think the issue was, indirectly related to money. The hangar, I believe, is zoned similarly to like a garage or something. It's for storage. It's not for habitation of any type.
Yeah.
If we were to have it a bit, where people could live or other types of events were taking place, its zoning would change away from a garage to something else. And that would incur sprinklers and all sorts of other things that we would have to do. Simply putting a bathroom in would probably prevent us being a garage.
Yeah.
I'd like to recognize, too, that it's not just the FPA that the burden falls solely on here, because there are FAC team members who need to use facilities after hours. There are self-service fuel farm customers looking to use facilities after hours. So there are many other tenants on the airport that would benefit from this. It's not just on their shoulders.
Yeah, I would suggest if we were going to put a porta potty on the airport, I would want it on the air side. I don't want the general public to come on down and use the bathroom at the airport because it's there.
Right.
That's a very good point, actually. I hadn't even really considered that.
And any of your members would have access to airside anyway. Is that a reasonable assumption for the most part? If you had an event, people could get access to the airside to use.
In most cases, yes.
Yeah, if they were supervised.
Right, supervised. I mean, sometimes the hangar door's open and there's lots of us there. Other times, like Santa Fest, the hangar door's closed. But if we wanted to escort someone out, we could.
Do you have a non-hanger door on the air side? Do you have a non-hanger door, like a small door on the air side?
We do.
Okay.
I think that
No, it's
double
on-
door.
it's on the public side.
That's on the public side as well, okay. So,
It's only on the public side, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there is a regular door in the hangar door, in the big hangar door.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I meant for like winter, when you don't want to have that
No.
open.
Yeah.
You have a
Not
small
with the
door,
cost of
that
gas.
you can access the field from there.
Yeah.
So I think there's an advantage to having it near the FPA hangar because it's within line of sight of the fuel farm.
Yeah, but I mean, it could be over by the fuel farm.
Correct.
Yeah.
As long as it's tied down.
I'd like to get some confirmed cost on a porta potty.
Yeah, we have some numbers somewhere, I just don't
Yeah.
have it on me.
And then we need to discuss how we could pay for that.
Right.
I do not see the airport paying the full amount for that porta potty. I know I'm going to go to Peter and he's going to say, we don't have a dime, but show us those
Yeah.
numbers and see what kind of commitment we could get out of FACT as well as FPA.
Right.
Or anyone else on the airport that could benefit from the porta potty.
Yeah, I certainly think that between the three of us, when we talked about a three-way split in the previous meetings, there was no discussion about whether it's an equal split or an unequal split. I don't know, at some point it might just be too complicated to have 27 people chipping to pay for something that's $100.
So 3 would be your limit? Probably wise.
I think, between FACT and FPA, I think we can probably cover it if the airport wants to chip in. That's fine too.
The other issue would be access for the truck to get to. Is there a
There's
precedent
no
right
issue
now?
there at all.
What's that?
There's no issue there at all. They only come between working hours.
Okay.
And we're already there, and all they've got to do is call the number, and we'll open the gate, and we'll show them where to go the first time, and they,
Okay, so there is a precedent for
Absolutely.
vehicles getting
UPS,
on.
FedEx,
Absolutely.
all those guys, when they come
Actually
to
go on the
airport
airfield?
businesses. Yeah, well, they have to get on the air side to go to, say, Tim Hess's machine shop.
Ultimate Air Engines.
Yeah.
Oh, to deliver to the FBOs.
Yeah. There's
Okay,
some bigger
okay.
bits.
So they don't just drop things off at the.
No, they actually get airside access, but
Okay.
the airport employees can see them and they can hit the button and.
Good.
You can actually open it. We have a security system, and I have one of the cameras straight down on gate 11, and if I see somebody there, he'll call me, and we'll open the gate from the office. We have that facility. It's all linked in. It's a nice facility.
All right, I think we should lean in that direction.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
Cool.
You've got to announce because I've just told Matt it was 15 minutes, and we're 15 minutes for the.
Thank you, Daniel.
Yes, it's coming up real quickly.
I think we need to have a grant.
Financial review is next. Approval and commitments of abatements. Do you
There
have
isn't
anything that you
nothing
addressed
this
tonight?
month. No.
All right, that brings us to executive session. It's going to be to discuss the strategy with respect to litigation. If an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigation position of the public body. I need a roll call to go into public executive session. So
I'd make a motion to go into executive session.
Paul, yes. Eric, yes.
Yes.
Rich, yes. And myself, yes. So we are going to adjourn the regular meeting. We will not come back into open session tonight. Jackie, we're going to be leaving you now.
Have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Motion to adjourn.